Hey guys, Martin here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we're continuing on the Heroes EZA showcases here with the STR VEGEKS, who is of course a unique Heroes character, the fusion of Vegeta and Trunks via the Potara. So he's got the his outfit, obviously Potara earrings merging the two characters together. It's like the combo of the Xeno Vegeta armor and then the Xeno Trunks like trench coat. So it's pretty cool. In their base, they obviously have the kind of Gotenks thing going on, where they have the different coloured hair, right, to the mix of Trunks and then a black-haired fusion partner. But of course, this unit is the Super Saiyan VEGEKS, so he just has the Super Saiyan hair. He was a stacking unit. I think the year that he got his awakening, he was probably one of the weaker units, and he's the one that I kind of had the most trepidation about, right, going into these EZAs. He was the one I felt like they could fumble the most, because he's a stacking unit, which EZAs for stacking units are often hit or miss, but he was also one of the minor characters, right? So I wasn't sure whether they would, how much effort they would put into his EZA, shall we say. So his super attack after hit EZA is greatly raised defense, which is an infinite stack, raise attack for 1 turn, and then does supreme damage to the enemy. And then his passive, attack and defense 150, additional attack and defense 150 when performing a super. Then he gets an additional 30% attack up to 150 and chance to perform a crit 20% with each super attack performed. So he maxes out once he's done 5 super attacks, and that of course maxes his crit at 100%. So once he's super attacked 5 times, he gets guaranteed crits. Then he gets 2 ki and launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super when there is another crossover or Super Saiyan's ally attacking in the same turn. So they've allowed sort of this restriction in his passive to work for the Super Saiyan's team. He does get a 200% lead obviously from the Carnival LR Super Saiyans, because they have the 200% for the whole category. Outside of that though, he really only gets the 200% lead from the other Heroes characters like that have the leads, and then like the time traveler Trunks, right, the Carnival Sword of Hope Trunks, because he's 200% for all time travelers, which is most Heroes units as well. So for now, the current best team for him probably is still just going to be the Heroes team. He does also get guaranteed crit, which obviously can build up to anyway, and an additional super attack when the target enemy is attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed. So if the enemy has any one of the super attack effects on them, he can, or status effects, he can get a guaranteed additional super. And then obviously he has an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super as part of his passive. So he can super attack 4 times in 1 turn. Now sadly, he doesn't do a status effect himself, so he can't trigger his own like ability. This stage that we're in to start with can't have any status effects as it is anyway, so I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. Now, remember, he is getting 150% when performing a super, as well as getting the extra stats with each super attack performed. So he's going to get an extra 30%. I don't know which one goes off first, but he's going to get an extra 30%, which is obviously going to be somewhere around like 65k. Then he gets 150%, so he's going to be getting 300k anyway. So he's going to be what, like 600-ish, 600k defense, and then he greatly raises on the super, which is an infinite stack. So we want him to get as many super attacks as possible. He does share royal lineage with the Dark Mask King for 5% attack, obviously because Dark Mask King is King Vegeta, and then this unit is Vegeta and Trunks. They didn't put this unit on the Vegeta family team though. I'm pretty sure like Barlot from Fusions isn't on Goku family either, which I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Because technically, like, you know, if you had like a written family tree for Vegeta, like VEGEKS is not on there because he's not an actual existing solo character member of the family, but it would be nice for him to be on that team. But 7.4 mil is his first attack here. Then we get the extra attack from the passive. He jumps up to 8.7. Okay, so he's going up by about 1.3. And then there's the hidden potential, goes up to 10 mil. Okay, that's a little bit better than I was expecting. And yeah, that was the hidden potential because he can't have any status effects. Pan 80k. Then she dodges. Okay, typical. I just recorded her showcase. We were just talking about this, like the worst case scenario. She dodged. She took the first attack, which is the one that will deal the most damage, and then dodged all of the other ones. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, 3 supers in 1 turn for Vegeks. So I'm definitely interested to see now what his defense is going to be like on this second appearance. And then I know the second phase of this fight against the STR Buhan, we actually can lower his attack. So the rotation with Dark Mask King actually works quite nicely because Royal Lineage and Shattering the Limit are both key links, and then Dark Mask King lowers attack. So that gives Vegeks a guaranteed additional super. And bear in mind, he's done 3 super attacks, so he's gotten a 60% attack and defense buff in his passive, as well as the fact he now has a 60% chance to crit. And of course, once the enemy becomes attack lowered or any of the other status effects, he gets guaranteed crits anyway. So he's got some interesting things in his passive. I think the problem with him, though, is it's the same as like the Xeno, Super Saiyan, Goku, and Vegeta when we talk about these like stacking units, where stacking raw defense is the only thing that he is doing, like defensively. So he doesn't have damage reduction, he doesn't have dodge. So, you know, if this Boo was able to drop a like 2 million super, then obviously this guy would just die, right? But now that he's up to 400k defense start of turn, that means that when he gets his super attack off here, he's obviously getting 150%. That's an extra 600k defense just from his passive. So on this turn, he's well up over 1 million defense. We're still in this phase, so obviously we can't attack lower. So we'll just go ahead and do that, and then I guess grab that for you, so we can get a little bit more health. But the next phase against the STR Buhan, we are going to be able to attack lower him with Dark Mask King, which then means that Vegeks gets a guaranteed additional super. All the extra attacks from the passive are essentially making it easier to proc the hidden potential additional. I should double check exactly what I did give him, because I went for 4 additional because he's a stacker, I'm pretty sure, the first time around when he got his awakening. But I'm not sure what we've done since then. So that's an example of his worst case turn, where he gets his super attack, and then his additional attack with a high chance from his passive doesn't become a super. The enemy isn't status affected, so he doesn't get the guaranteed one from the last part, and then he doesn't get the hidden potential either. So that's an example of his worst turn. So I think we'll just do, I mean, I could just use the active skill, but I'll just do this. With all the support on the rotation, Vegito should kill Bootank's here with a normal, and he still has his damage reduction up, so he's going to take double-digit damage anyway. And then, yeah, crit normals and kills him. So, right, so we got 1 more super, so we're up to 80% damage reduction and 4 out of the 5 stacks from our passive. And so that puts us at 500. This is every link active. Okay, yeah, because to be fair, he is a fused fighter character. So he gets Super Saiyan, Shocking Speed, Power Bestowed by God, and Fused Fighter from Vegito. So I guess with the Heroes team currently, with Vegito still being one of the better slot 1 units, we could be running the rotation like this. But obviously since we started them off together on the same turn, we were using him with Dark Mask King, who can still be a decent slot 1 unit. I do want Dark Mask King to go first in this instance, though, because I do want him to lower the attack, right? Because now, Vegeks, start of turn, 528k. So he's going to get 150% on super. So that puts him up to like 1.3 million, and that's without the super attack effects. He goes up to like 1.3 million. So he does actually stack up quicker than I expected. And in some of these fights, like you think about Global just got the heroine battle with all the Peppy Gal stages, and a lot of those stages can be either attack lowered, defense lowered, stunned, or sealed, which then means he's going to be getting those extra super attacks. So that could be really good, and he's going to be stacking quite quickly. The problem is, like I say, the lack of any other defensive tech, because, you know, he's going to be, let's say it's impossible on this turn because of the status effects and everything, but if he only did 1 super attack, so he's at 1.3 million, if he then gets super attacked by a boss that does 2 or higher million damage attack stats, then he still dies, right? But we get the additional from the passive, then we get the guaranteed additional. Bear in mind, because he's attack lowered, all of these are guaranteed crits, and then there's the hidden potential as well, 13.7. So I mean, 4 super attacks that were all from 11 to 13 mil. And now his defense is what? He gets the greatly raise every time. So he's well up over 1.5 million defense at that point. And of course, every stack we get is increasing the start of turn defense, which then of course increases the amount that we're getting on the 150% on super. So very, very good turn for Vegeks. Obviously, that is him with like all of his links active, which is really, really good. So let's go ahead and do this. He is attack lowered, so hopefully we can avoid taking too much damage here. I should have just used the Senzu Bean just in case, because I always bring it into this event in case the showcase unit gets sealed or locked in slot 3 in the next phase. But yeah, honestly, after reading all their details on paper, I wasn't sure whether it would be Vegeks or the 2 Super Saiyan 3s, but definitely seemed like they were the worst. But I think it's going to depend a lot on the event that you're in, right? Because if you can status affect the enemy from turn 1, it does seem like he can stack up quite quickly. I mean, turn 1 we got 3 supers, and then on his next turn he was already at the point where post super attacking he would be at 1,000,000 defense, which is pretty good. And then yeah, he can stack up to, as I say, having a 100% chance to crit. So he obviously doesn't need any crit in the hidden potential. He's an STR unit, so he's going to have level 5 crit anyway, which there's nothing you can really do about that, unfortunately. But all the rest should go into additional, and all of the nodes that are crit or dodge should just be dodge. He doesn't even necessarily need to be full additional, because if he's doing multiple attacks in a turn, you're more likely to proc the hidden potential. But having extra additional in the hidden potential system will make it easier for those turns where the enemy isn't status affected, so you're missing out on one of those potential attacks. Because yeah, now he's at 1,000,000 defense start of turn, which is pretty good. So I'm going to do this, and then yeah, what did I did say I was going to double check his build, didn't I? So Vegeks, yeah, he's got an extra 3 crit from somewhere, and then 3 dodge, and then mine has 19 additional. So I definitely would make sure that he has a little bit more dodge. But I mean, I didn't give him exactly premium skill orbs, because as a TUR without his EZA, he wasn't super good. So as you can see, he's only got like a level 3 defense bronze and a level 4 super attack boost for the silver. So he definitely could have some better skill orbs, but let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully we don't get supered immediately. Yeah, there we go. So tank that for double digits, and then 11.8 is his super attack here. So I mean, considering he's probably going to be a unit that if you're using him on the Heroes team or on a Super Saiyans team, he probably just kind of ends up being a floating unit, but that doesn't necessarily make him bad, right? Like, he's not, I guess, like a top pick for the team, but I don't know, he could be pretty decent. His links are a bit weird because he is like a Shattering the Limit Super Saiyan. Obviously he has like the Patara fusion links, but there are very few like free-to-play Vegetos, especially not any like Super Saiyan Vegetos, because he links up relatively well with the Vegetos because of like power bestowed by God, and then obviously Fused Fighter, oh, missed those, Fused Fighter and Super Saiyan for some of the other ones. So he could certainly be interesting on the Super Saiyans team. It is a shame that he's only getting the 200% from the LR, because obviously the physical trio from the Worldwide Celebration, he could be quite good on their team, because even though he's only getting the double 170 leads, if you're running double physical trio, they give so much extra defense in their passive. His defense is potentially higher than it is on this team anyway, because he's missing, what, 30% from the leader skills, so missing 60%, but then their combined support is like 154% extra defense. Across, like, spread across the turns. So he could actually be pretty good on the Super Saiyans team. Although I suppose with the Super Saiyans lineup that we have now, and then, you know, we don't know what the new units do yet, hopefully they're all good. It just means like he probably doesn't secure a place on the team, if you're talking about like for any of the teams that he's on, I guess, like the optimal 6-man build. It probably doesn't include him, which is a shame. Now, if we do start to get back into the longer events kind of meta, we did for a little bit, and now we're shifting again, it seems, back towards events that are a little bit shorter, or at least are really hot right from turn 1. Then, you know, this guy will be much, much better in a longer event meta. But honestly, I have to say, I came into this with very low expectations for him. And I think he is definitely a lot better than I thought he was going to be. So turn 9, and he's at 887k here. So Roll Lineage, Saiyan Lineage, Super Saiyan, and Showing the Limit. So let's go ahead and grab these, and then we can just grab those for you. Now obviously we're back into another phase where the enemy can't be status affected. So we have built up to the point now where our passive is fully maxed. We're doing guaranteed crits, but we're not going to be getting that extra super attack effect, or that extra super attack at the end, because we can't status affect this Boo Piccolo. But still, 10 mil. The kind of defense that we're going up to post super again is very, very good. Like, on super buffs are great. 150% on super is pretty good. And then yeah, we still get the triple super turn. So with those all being crits, like that's a pretty decent amount of damage. And then tanking all the follow-up attacks for double digits. I may have judged him a little bit too early. Like, the thing is, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like, oh wow, he's actually awesome, like he's the best of the EZAs, because of course he does still have some pretty, I would say, I don't know, should I say glaring flaws? I mean, the main thing obviously being the fact that he doesn't have that extra defensive tech. So, you know, he's gonna get taken out by difficult bosses when it comes to them super attacking him. But, you know, the Peppy Gal stage, hey, nice. I took the risk. I thought he would super in slot 1, so I chose to believe in Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. But yeah, like with the Peppy Gals event coming out, like I say, all of those stages can be status affected in some way. And then any of those stages where the boss is going to be physical, any newer events that we get coming out where the boss is physical at the end, even if they can only be status affected in one of the earlier phases, him getting those extra supers early on and allowing him to build up ready for later are definitely going to be very, very helpful. So I definitely want to get this one last turn in here, because this next rotation should be the one where we have Vegito in slot 3 again. So he's going to have his full link set active here. Because yeah, he would only be getting the Super Saiyan, Fused Fire, Shocking Speed, and Power bestowed by God, but he gets Royal Lineage, Shattering the Limit, and the Saiyan Lineage, all from the Dark Mask King. So, yeah, so he's at 1.23 million start of turn. So bear in mind, he gets 150% on super. So 150% on top of that means that once he super attacks, he has like 3 million defense. Now bear in mind, it is turn, what, 11? So it's not like, you know, oh my god, he's got 3 million defense on like his second turn. He's super, super good. But I mean, that's pretty decent. And like I say, better than I actually kind of expected. So yeah, I will absolutely take that. And then what kind of attack stat is he going to do? We can't put any status effects on this guy either, can we? No. So that's fine. Dark Mask King with the double super. Unneeded, but we'll take it. It guarantees we're on full health. And then 12 million. Okay. And there's, of course, the guaranteed crits. The passive, only a normal. And then we don't get the hidden potential. So a bit awkward. Typical the Vegito turn. But yeah, I would say Vegex is a lot better than I thought he was going to be. Obviously, much better for longer events, and especially so in events where you can use the status effects. I think he will be helpful for the last couple of the Peppy Gal stages that we weren't able to beat with the Heroes team before these EZAs came out. I did Videl, but Mai and Bulma were a little bit too tough, like before with the Heroes team as it was before we got the EZAs. But I think with the EZAs, we are going to be in a pretty good spot here now. So yeah, Vegex certainly better than I thought. Not the craziest, and he does need that time to build up, but definitely better than I gave him credit for when I read his details. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.